Okay, so that's the take coming in. Let me also bring on board Sachin Shah, MK Investment Managers, joining us this afternoon to give us his perspective of market. Sachin, let me start off with, anything interesting that you're finding in the market at this point of time? Just give us a sense, sector, stock, even in earnings, something that really stood out for you.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you very much for having me on your show.
Great
So
having you.
yes, of course, we are in the midst of a fairly heavy earning season, and what we've seen is that most of the earnings have been actually very good, much better than what it was feared. Particularly, when we saw some oil prices shooting up beyond $100 in the month of March, April. So everybody was fearing that now the inventory losses or in terms of RM material, price inflation and all of that will have serious impact on margins or even on the demand destruction. In most of the sectors, whether it's if you look at the automobile results, if you look at some of the other consumer companies, even if you look at some of the financial results, whether it's banks or financial services, across the board, we have not seen any demand destruction. We have not seen any major margin compression. So I think the profit growth have been very, very strong. And that clearly gives us a cue in terms of where are we headed over the next 2, 3, 4 quarters or over even the next 6 to 8 quarters. I think that gives us a lot of confidence, a lot of optimism that the earnings trajectory is back, which was not there probably for the last 12, 15 months or maybe 18 months. But I think the next 12 to 18 months, we believe that the earnings growth is going to be very, very strong, which effectively makes us very, very positive with the current valuations, which are very reasonable at probably 15-year average, even if you just look at the Nifty, maybe just about 22 times. So that's how we are thinking at this point in time, that very, very positive view on the overall equities as a space. I mean, particularly Indian equities.
What's keeping you positive with regard to the growth, Sachin? So one is, of course, that we've done well in a difficult quarter. And if things were to improve, that could well sustain. But on the top line, what's giving you the confidence that this is sustainable?
Yeah, so if you see, say, for example, if you look at the automobile volume numbers, month after month, they have been very good. And this is again in a weak season, which is April, May, June, July generally are not supposed to be some very great months for automobile, because typically their season or the festival season is when you see some great numbers. But the GST cut, which is August of 2025, those volume growth seems to be very, very strong and sustaining. Even if you look at the demand on the rural side for many other consumer products, most of the managements are commenting that rural has actually bounced back very strong. There is clear amount of green shoots all around. So again, those kind of, and even if you say, for example, Bajaj Finance came out with a result, and if you look at the kind of the growth that they have shown, so again, they typically finance a lot of consumer products. So demand over there is also very strong, and asset quality for most of this retail loan books, whether it's private sector bank, public sector bank, or even the NBFCs, has been very strong. So we believe that the consumer is clearly back. The consumption is really doing very well. We will also see a very decent pickup on the capex side, particularly in the private sector, because now that so many companies are running at probably 85-90% capacity utilization, and now there is limited scope for brownfield expansion. We believe that in the next 12 to 18 months, we'll also see a lot of greenfield capex coming up. So that gives us a lot of confidence in terms of economy moving into a very virtuous cycle. And the best part is, I think the oil price is remaining in the sub $80-85. I think from that perspective also the worst seems to be behind.
Just hold on. We'll come back again to you. We have the cabinet meeting coming in. Sources tell ET now that Union Cabinet is likely to clear a lot of proposals, including an 80,000 crore Samudra Manthan deep water exploration mission. Prakash is here with the details.
Well, the Union Cabinet meeting is underway, and we are learning from our sources that the Cabinet may consider Samudra Manthan scheme with an outlay of rupees 80,000 crore, a very significant development. In fact, a deep water exploration mission, which is likely to be approved by the Union Cabinet to encourage oil and gas exploration in the country. In fact, government plans to expedite offshore deep sea oil and gas exploration projects under this scheme, wherein government intends to reimburse up to 50% of the cost of drilling deep water exploratory wells. In addition to that, Cabinet may also approve an incentives program for floating solar projects, and for which approximately 5,000 crore likely to be approved. Along with that, a new scheme for radio broadcasting sector is likely to be approved as well. In addition to that, the cabinet may also give its a go-ahead to the Income Tax Amendment Bill 2026 to replace the ordinance which was announced to provide exemption in long-term capital gains tax and interest income to FPIs and FIIs on their investment in government securities. Back to you.
Okay, thank you so much for that, Prakash. Picks. Let's go across. Kunal, what are your top picks for this afternoon?
So, in terms of picks, I'll go for a couple of buy calls. The first one, which I would be looking out for, would be a buy on Geofinance. That's a stock which has been looking very attractive on the short-term basis. The stock heading towards a breakout. Also, it's nearing a 200-day moving average break, which I believe could be a big breakout point for Geofinance. So, we'd look at 270 as a target. Stop loss to be kept at 240. The second would be a buy on Siemens. This could probably be a conditional buy